Hello, everyone. It's Greg again. Saturday, October the 14th. I hope you guys survived Friday the 13th. Hey, he just caught me. I'm here giving Bud, who's right down here, a few lean treats. Well, these aren't too bad. I tried these myself. There's a Dalmatian on the front there. See? Yeah. And keep your dog trimmed a healthy way. Made with real chicken liver, bite-sized pieces, available through your veterinarian. Well, I'll have to get these through my vet. Here we go. All right. So we'll just keep feeding Bud while we do the podcast, all right, today? Because that's why I'm here, to feed Bud. That's the only reason I still exist. They tell me I'm the oldest person in the world with OI, the type of brittle bones that I have. And I think the only reason I'm still here is to feed Bud. All right, here you go, Bud, another one. Well, we had a lot to talk today on this Saturday edition of the podcast. Uh, First of all, did you know it's dessert day? Yeah, it's dessert. Here you go. Speaking of dessert, um, it is dessert day. So I hope you guys have a nice dessert today. I'm talking about dessert, and I'm looking at this, and I'm getting hungry. Uh, you know what my favorite dessert is nowadays? Chocolate pie. We go to this Amish place right outside of Phoenixville, and they have everything you could ever want. You know, the Dutch country store is incredible, and oh my God, can they bake? Um, so my favorite, you know, is chocolate pie. So you got the chocolate, like a mousse, like a pudding consistency on the inside. On the outside, you've got the crust, and you've got the whipped cream on top, and the chocolate shavings sprinkled on the top there. Ooh, boy, is that good. Oh my God. Otherwise, I'm pretty good with just dessert, like ice cream. I'm a very conservative guy. And vanilla ice cream, more treats. You want one? There you go. There you go. But anyway, dessert. About the only dessert I don't like is rice pudding. I I hate rice pudding. I hate to use that word hate, but I did. Uh, I don't hate much in life, but I hate rice pudding. I remember the first time I tried rice pudding was in school, in the lunchroom in school, grade school. It was probably fourth, fifth grade, maybe, in the cafeteria there. Tried rice pudding. They had it on the menu in the cafeteria. Got rice pudding. Tried it for the first time. Threw up all over the table. Blech. Just blech, all over the place. And that was it. That was my one and only experience with rice pudding. I can't stand it. I don't like the smell of it even now. If I see it on the menu, I vomit. I just don't like it. Yeah. Let's talk about Phillies. You know what? We're still, even though I'm decked out in my Eagles gear, we'll talk about them in a minute. The Phillies still on the brain. I'm still celebrating Phillies beating the Braves. Can you believe it? They beat the Braves and they're back in the National League Championship Series, this time against the Arizona Diamondbacks. And they start on Monday, and we'll talk more about that on Monday's show, about the next series. Oh, I know, boy. Uh, he's gotten into this new habit. I don't know if you dogs do this. He goes, whoop, whoop, woo, woo. Oh, you remember the old wrestler Ric Flair used to go woo, woo. that's what that's what Bud's been doing lately. Why? Lord only knows why. I don't know. Yeah. Mm, mm. He's not in pain. He's actually happy. And mm, I don't know. Maybe I do that too when I'm happy. Anyway, I was on with the great Steve Trevelise last night on WIP radio. I'm sure you were all up. It was about 3:13 in the morning. And we were talking Phillies, and I just had a few observations about the Phillies, other than the obvious that they beat up on the Braves suck, just the normal things. A few things that I was talking to him about. Bryce Harper. How can you not like or love Bryce Harper? And remember a few years ago when they signed Bryce Harper, there was a real chance that the Phillies were going to sign Manny Machado instead of Bryce Harper. And don't get me wrong, Machado is a hell of a ball player. Great third baseman, can hit the ball. He's no Bryce Harper, number one. He's not a leader like Bryce Harper. Number two, think of all other than uh, the contributions on the baseball diamond that Bryce Harper has given us. So many great moments, dramatic home runs, clutch. The most clutch player I have ever seen. And I've been watching baseball a long time. It seems like when you need the big hit in the dramatic moment, Harper always comes through. In fact, if he doesn't come through, it's more of a surprise than if he does. Um, but think about, other than on the baseball field, what Bryce Harper has given his Phillies organization. I mean, look at how many jerseys he sold, uh, the merchandise, ticket sales. A few years ago, nobody wanted to go to a Phillies game. You had to give the tickets away. Uh, People were just down on the Phillies. They had no personality, no leadership. The ownership would not spend any money for the players. Uh, they were just stuck. And it's turned all around. And even though Philadelphia will always be a football town, an Eagles town, the Phillies are pretty close. This red October, get into the playoffs now everywhere. You're not only just getting into the playoffs, but going deep into the playoffs. There's a certain bond between the team, hi bud, and the fans now. And and Bud's upstaging me again. Hello, Bud. Anyway, uh, I just love this team. And, we talked about how John Middleton deserves a lot of praise for opening the wallet to buy some free agents. Dave Dabrowski, the GM, uh, brought in some new players, has revamped the farm system. Uh, just what a difference between that guy and Matt Clinton. Yeah, Matt Clinton. Uh, the thing is, Dabrowski built this team around Citizens Bank Park. For many years, I was saying this team not only needs a personality, but they need to be built around Citizens Bank Park, where it's pretty easy to hit home runs. Other teams would come in all the time and smash us and would hit 10 home runs to our one. And but now we have Schwarber, Harper, Castellanos, Turner, Bogue. They're all capable of hitting home runs. And we're finally taking advantage of the home park in which we play. We talked about how bad Atlanta was. We don't need to get into that again. Uh, I mean, to me, you know what? This team is fun. They're fun to watch. They look like they like each other. They're fun together. When after the game, whoever the player of the game is, the other guys go over and pour water on them and stuff. It's they seem like a stupid, childish thing to do, but it's part of the team. They like each other. They really do. Uh, In fact, after the big win the other night against Atlanta, a lot of the players went across the street to Xfinity Live and were partying with the fans. Uh, it's just there's a connection there, and this team has a lot of heart and soul, unlike the Braves, uh, and they're really good. So I expect the Phillies not only to win the League Championship Series against the Diamondbacks coming up, I expect them to win the World Series. Because if they play Houston again, I think it's going to be revenge. The Phillies will have home field advantage this time. And I think if they play Texas, which I think they will, uh, I think that series may be a little harder to win. I think Texas is on a roll right now. Texas has a good team. They can catch the ball, they hit the ball like hell, and they have good pitching. Um, Phillies would have a distinct advantage though in the bullpen. You know, Texas's bullpen isn't that great. The Phillies would have an advantage, but look out for Texas because of Bruce Bochy, their manager, is a great manager. So I would fear the Rangers more than the Astros. But one series at a time. Let's beat the stakes first. Uh, so I can't wait. I can't wait for Monday when the Phillies start off a new season or a new series. Uh, it's funny. Speaking of a new season, uh, the start of next season, the 2024 season, is only a little more than 5 months away, less than half a year away. It's unbelievable, isn't it? The baseball season is so long. Um, the start of next season is less than 6 months away. And the Phillies open up the season next season at home. And guess who they play? The Atlanta Braves. Wouldn't that be a kick in the head for the Phillies to raise their championship banner in front of the Braves? And the Spencer Strider. And you know what? I got to give kudos to Spencer Strider. He could play on my team. He could pitch on my team any day. First of all, I think he's a hell of a pitcher. I love the way he pitches. He's a power pitcher. He strikes people out. But I give Spencer Strider credit because all these whiny Atlanta Braves fans are saying, oh, it's not fair, because Atlanta had to wait a week before they played and they were rusty and blah blah blah. Well, what's the alternative? Not win the division and not get the week off? The week off is supposed to be an advantage and a reward for you winning your division. It's not supposed to be a detriment. But that's the way these loser teams are making it sound like. The Dodgers, the Braves, all these teams that just weren't good enough to go far in the playoffs are making the excuse. Spencer Strider, to his credit, did not make an excuse. He said, it is what it is. We lost. You have to be professional about it. Figure it out. That week off, you have to adjust. You have to figure it out, and you have to be ready when the games start. Motivation, determination. You have to be ready, and the Braves just weren't ready. So, to his credit, Spencer Strider was honest, and he was accountable, and there was no BS for it. So, kudos to Spencer Strider, unlike some of the other Braves. Final Phillies point for now. I think one of the reasons why the Phillies beat the Braves, and especially why, think about it, Nick Castellanos, what a year he had after sucking last year. He had a great year this year. The only player in the history of baseball, to have back-to-back games where he hit 2 home runs in each game. No player, Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays. No player has ever done that before. I think one of the reasons was because if you look back on it, the Atlanta Braves clinched the National League East at Citizens Bank Park at the end of the season. And while the Braves were out celebrating on our field, there's a picture out there, which I've seen a photograph of Nick Castellanos standing like kind of by himself in the Phillies dugout, watching the Atlanta Braves celebrate. Now, why is this important? Because you can always caption it yourself by saying, not on my field. This is not going to happen again. And damn it, Nick Castellano has gone out and has had himself a great postseason so far. Again, this team has a lot of heart, a lot of soul, and a lot of drive, and a lot of fight. And that's why they're going to win the World Series. And that's why we're gonna have a parade in a couple weeks. And I can't wait. Final point, Eagles. Tomorrow playing the Jets. You know, the Eagles have never, ever lost to the New York Jets. Never. There's something like 12-0 or some crazy number like that. Why start tomorrow? Eagles are favored by anywhere between 6.5 and 7 points. And even though they're playing up in New York, I would say Eagles victory again. Eagles do have a few players hurt now. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets kept the game a little closer than expected, but the Jets are the Jets, man. And Zach Wilson still sucks as their quarterback. I don't think the Eagles lose. I think they win again and stay undefeated. Now, I want to give you my pick for tomorrow because last week I gave you the Steelers not only covering 4 points, they were getting 4 points at home, which is unbelievable when you think about it. The Steelers always play well as underdogs, especially at home under Mike Tomlin, their head coach. Well, not only did the Steelers cover the number, they won the game. Two things you want to keep in mind for tomorrow, okay? Number one, it's supposed to be very windy, especially on the East Coast. Wind and rain means lower scores because naturally it's harder to kick the ball, it's harder to throw the ball when it's really windy outside. So keep that in mind. There's a few places on the East Coast, including New York, which have football games tomorrow. I would say any city tomorrow where the wind is more than 10 miles an hour affecting the game, you want to play the under lower scores because the wind definitely affects the play. Or specific play is, it seems like the Eagles every week go from week to week from one star receiver to another. Last week, Dallas Goedert, the tight end, and rightfully so, had a big game. He scored his first touchdown. He had 8 catches. He had like 120, 30 yards of receiving. It was the Dallas Goedert game. I mean, A.J. Brown has complained about not getting the ball at times. And when he complains, the squeaky player gets the grease or whatever. Whenever he complains, he gets the ball. Devontae Smith is the person I would play tomorrow. It's Devontae Smith's turn. No relation to me, by the way, to have a big game tomorrow. Now, field conditions may affect the score because, like we said, tomorrow it's probably going to be wet and windy up in New York. But I think Devontae Smith is going to have a big game. So the two things I would play if I were you, I would play Devontae Smith over 4.5 catches. Means he's got to have at least 5 catches for you to have a winner. I think that's a pretty safe bet. And if I were you, I'd play Devontae Smith to score a touchdown. I think he's long overdue. And with Goddard scoring and A.J. Brown scoring and Hurts himself scoring on the push-tush, everybody's bitching about, or the brotherly shove, as they call it. You know what? Teams are jealous. They just can't do it. Excuse me. I'm all choked up over that. People are complaining about the push tush. Uh, Learn how to do it. The Eagles have a strong offensive line. Jalen Hurts himself is a strong quarterback. That's why whatever they want to do to push tush, they're usually successful. My play for tomorrow is cough. Devontae Smith scoring a touchdown. See ya. You guys have a great weekend. Thanks for watching or listening to the podcast. And I'll talk to you again on Monday. Go Eagles. Go Phillies. Bye.